Hey cool kids, today I have an important announcement. I've decided to abandon this whole artist YouTuber thing. I feel like it's just become too mainstream, like it's such an oversaturated market. I've decided to go for something a little more underground that not a lot of people are doing, and I am going to become a YouTube beauty guru. So for today's look, we're going for a very nature-inspired look, something that makes people look at you and go, I bet that girl's been outside at least once, maybe even twice. So to start off, we're going to need a blank canvas. Blanker.
Yes, the perfect blank canvas. So we're actually going to start off with this Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeliner in Taupe of the Morning, and I know it's a little unorthodox to go straight on with the eyeliner, but this is a very light passover just to have a general plan of what we're going to do, because it's good to have a general plan before you go into anything, you know? So we're going in with this really nice makeup brush I got from my grandma after she passed away that I've actually been too scared to use because, like, I feel weird about using her things on my face, and this Maybelline Fit Me foundation in 115, which, I'll be real, is way too dark for my pasty face, but we're gonna hit it up with some lighter colors later, so it'll be fine. Now, primer is actually really important if you want your makeup to stay on, so we're using some CoverGirl Outlast primer and a makeup brush, which I got from Target before they went out of business, which I probably should have cleaned before doing this bit. We're going in with some green eyeshadow from this palette I got from Superstore for like $15, and I'll be real, it's so bad. Like, it's not the worst eyeshadow palette I've ever owned, but the colors really do not last very long, and literally only the top coat of each color is actually pigmented. Like, once you get past the nice top coat, it's just this gross desaturated mess, but it works for the look we're going for here. We're going in with some green in our under eyes to help cancel out those dark bags that form when you work a job that requires you get up at 5 a.m. and you also live in a house full of children who will not stop screaming until midnight. And I know there are specific primers for eyelids, but I usually use the same primer for all over my face. Now we're going in with the Estee Lauder palette. I also got it from my late grandma, which I'm also too scared to use, but like it's got some nice grays which will help out with the tones in this piece. We're going over with this brush I bought on sale at Walmart, which I think is supposed to be for blush, but I just use it to dust off all the excess powder on my face. Now it's time for contour using the L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage palette, and I'll be real with y'all, I'm not a big contour fan. Like, no dissing on folks who do it regularly, more power to you, but I was reading statistics a while ago that our generation is much less likely to invest in plastic surgery or wrinkle prevention and much more likely to invest in makeup. And the article that presented it as this good thing, you know, we're much less likely to completely alter how we look and instead just do subtle changes with makeup, which I mean is good and all, but like, are we really embracing our natural looks if we're still spending all this money on these products that are centered around achieving one specific look of conventional attractiveness? Like, I don't know. Also, I have a weird potato face and it's very hard to contour, and that's mostly why I don't like contouring. I'm just salty about my potato face. Anyway, coming in with some eyeshadow, this time for the upper lid. We're going in with some blue, and I know there are like specific colors you should use to make your eyes pop or whatever, and because I have green eyes, I actually shouldn't use blue or green around my eyes because it won't bring out the full color potential or whatever, but you know what? We don't play by the rules here. In that vein, I'm also blending with my fingers, which I know a lot of people scoff at, but I have very flabby eyelids, and I struggle getting enough pigment on them with a brush alone, and then it drags the pigment, and it doesn't go on evenly, so sometimes I'll use my fingers, and you know what? It works, so whatever. Now we're coming in with e.l.f.'s Little Black Beauty book in Cool Edition, because I'm cool, so I figured it'd be fitting. And I'll be real with you guys, it's the only e.l.f. product that hasn't let me down. Like, I know a lot of people praise e.l.f. for being an affordable alternative, and that's good, but I've never been overly pleased with their prices or their product, really, except this one. We're adding in some darker blues to give the lid more shapeliness. I never like using one shade for eyeshadow because you end up with a very flat, unappealing color. We're also throwing in some green to mirror the green at the bottom. Here we have an e.l.f. product that has let me down, their foundation. So when I first bought this, I thought it was $4, and I was like, wow, can't go wrong with $4 foundation, but it wasn't $4, it was $9, which would still be a good price until you take into consideration that this is only 14 milliliters, whereas most foundations I've used are about 30 milliliters for somewhere around $17, and like, this e.l.f. foundation doesn't even have good coverage. But it's all I've got in my shade at the moment, so I might as well use it. For brows, I much prefer using an eyeshadow palette over a brow pencil just because you can get a much softer, more subtle look. I've got the Sally Hansen palette I got from my aunt, and it's pretty close to my natural hair color, so I like it. You can obviously use different shades to match your hair color, which is actually another thing I like about using eyeshadows over pencils. They just come in a lot more color options, so if you're like me and you enjoy occasionally dyeing your hair crazy and outlandish colors, it's much easier to match it with an eyeshadow than a pencil. Anyway, I usually go in with a mid-tone that's just a little darker than my regular color, and then go over it with a darker shade to define the shades. Once I'm happy with the brow, I'll actually go over it with a very light shade similar to my skin tone and just dust over the whole brow to soften the entire look, so I don't end up with too many dark shadows or harsh lines. Obviously, if you want a more intense brow look, you can skip past this part. And back at it with the eyeliner, because when all else fails, just use more eyeliner. Now I've got this blush I found under my dresser when I was cleaning my room the other day, so I'm not really sure where it's from. I mostly just use lipstick for blush, honestly, but I figured powder blush would lend itself a little better to this look. On a side note, if you ever want to get that subtle underglow look with your blush, just like apply it before you put on your powder, so that way it's a much softer, more natural look, and there's an actually helpful beauty tip for y'all. For lips, we have Rimmel Provocalips in some red shade. I actually like this lipstick because it's the closest I've ever gotten to a lip product that actually lasts through my whole shift. Even though it still only lasts 4 to 6 hours, but that's longer than any other lip product I've used. If anyone has any recommendations for lip products that can actually last a full 8 hours in high heat with a lot of talking, then hit me up. We're also using this CoverGirl Longwear lip gloss, which lasts about 8 minutes. It's not great. And this shade is way too light. I bought it on accident, but works nicely for highlighting, so that's what we're going to use it for here. Now we're going in with the CoverGirl Clump Crush Extension Last Blast, which is a mouthful, and something I've learned recently is that you're actually supposed to roll your mascara brush when you're applying it instead of, just pulling it to get better coverage, and, I've been wearing mascara for 9+ years now, and I'm a little ashamed that I only learned how to properly apply it, a couple months ago. And we're getting to the point where I messed up a lot. Now, a lesser guru might have cut this bit out of the video and pretended it never happened, and a greater guru might have just never made this mistake, but as a completely average person in all regards, I decided to leave it in. So I felt something was missing from this look and decided more eyeliner was the solution and went in with this ultra thin liquid liner, which I don't recommend because it smudges like the dickens. And you want to know what? I think maybe there is a point where there's too much eyeliner, and I think I reached it. I went in with some primer and a beauty blender because there's nothing that can't fix, but even then, I liked it better before I went in with the eyeliner. And then I went in with more eyeliner because by this point I was past the point of no return, so why not?
And here we have the finished look, and you know what? That was a lot of work. I think I'm just gonna stick to art. But that's all we have for this video. If you liked it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye!